Good evening and a very warm welcome to today's class. It's indeed my extreme pleasure to welcome all those of you who've joined us back this evening. And let us now waste no time and begin with the class. Just allow me to share my screen and we shall begin. Great. I think now my screen is absolutely visible to everyone. That's good. And it's showing us exactly what we need to see. So let us quickly move to the actual session that we are here for today. And it's going to be discussing the physical features of India. And we shall be continuing from where we had stopped last time. So last time we spoke about the outermost range of the Himalayas, the uppermost range of the Himalayas. And we also understood that what were the Himalayas, what are the main features of that range, which are the peaks that we deal with. After that, we need to understand this very important term, that is a geosyncline. Now, a geosyncline is a large scale depression in the Earth's crust containing very, very thick deposits. So, like you can see over here in the diagram, you can see here very clearly there's a foreland. Now, this is the foreland, the land above sea here. There is a sea here. And this is the depression. So, in this depression, when you go to sea, this depression starts containing thick deposits. And that is a geosyncline. Now, all the sediments start depositing here. You can see these pink dots here. These sediments start depositing here, and together it becomes, as the deposition increases and the land, I told you last time too, the plates converge, they come towards each other. In the process, you can always see that the fold mountains, when these two plates come towards each other, the plates converge and a fold mountain is formed here. And fold mountain, in the chat box, you may quickly choose to tell me in the chat box which of these mountains that we've done earlier is a fold mountain. My chat box is on. You can quickly tell me in the chat box which mountain that we've studied earlier is a fold mountain. Yes, absolutely. The Himalayas are young fold mountains. Perfect. Thank you for answering that. Now we shall see further. Like I told you, the Himalayas or the Himalayan mountains were formed on the Tethys Sea geosyncline. And last time we studied about the Greater Himalayas. We did do talk about the major part of the Himalayas being snow covered. We spoke about the Himalayas being called Himadri, and because they are covered with snow, Him means snow. So Himadri is the Greater Himalayas or the snow-covered Himalayas. And with that, we also spoke about the rivers that flow through the Himalayas at this point in time. We did mention Ganga, Yamuna, Tista, and Koshi. At the same time, we happen to see certain peaks that the Himalayas have. And the most important we saw was Namcha Barwa in Arunachal Pradesh. So today on your screen, you are able to see the Namcha Barwa peak. With that, in Sikkim, we saw the Kanchenjunga peak. We also spoke last time about the highest peak of the Himalayas from the Indian point of view being recognized as Mount Everest in Nepal, which is also the world's highest peak at 8848 meters. However, I also happen to show you that China considers not Mount Everest as the highest, not Mount Everest at 8848 meters, but we saw the Chinese consideration at 8850 meters for Mount Everest. And with that, we also happen to see Uttarakhand having Nanda Devi, Badrinath, and Kedarnath. So we happen to see all these peaks last time. Now, today we shall be talking about the Lesser Himalayas or the Middle Himalayas. So, in the Lesser Himalayas or the Middle Himalayas, as they are called, they are located south or parallel of the Great Himalayas. So, you can see this diagram here on the side. Yes. So, when you see the diagram, I'm just going to increase the pen size a bit. Now, when you see this diagram, this we've shown you as the Greater Himalayas. And right below the Greater Himalayas, we have these or the Middle Himalayas, right? Now, when you see this, you can see they are located to the south of the Greater Himalayas, and they are parallel to the Greater Himalayas. They do not meet anywhere. The Lesser Himalayas are also called Himachal. And the most important peaks in the Lesser Himalayas or the Middle Himalayas or the Himachals, whichever name suits you, you may choose to call it by that name. So you have Pir Panjal, you have Dhauladhar, you have Nag Tibba, Masuri, and Mahabharat. Now, Pir Panjal range is the highest peak of the Middle Himalayas, right? Pir Panjal range has the highest peak of the Middle Himalayas. The peak is heighted at 6221 meters in Himachal and it is called Indrasen. Pir Panjal range has the highest peak of the Middle Himalayas and it is heighted at 6221 meters called Indrasen. And where would you find the Pir Panjal range? In the states of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. Below the Pir Panjal range, you will find the Dhauladhar range. And the Dhauladhar range will be in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. Nag Tibba is only in Uttarakhand. Masuri is also in Uttarakhand. And the Mahabharat range is now in Nepal. Right? So I give you a moment to finish noting down your important points and then we proceed. So I give you a moment and then we proceed. In case if there's a disturbance of the microphone in the soundtrack, do message in the chat box. Great. Now we'll go to the next thing. I'll just move this and we'll go to the next. Coming to the third range, we have the Shivalik Himalayas. So we've seen two ranges already. One is the Greater Himalayas, followed by the Middle Himalayas, and the third range of the Himalayas is the Shivalik. So obviously by now you are all the experts, so you know which is which range, but still. A quick recap. Greater Himalayas or the Himadri, Middle Himalayas or Himachal, and the outermost Himalayas are the Shivaliks. Now, these inner Himalayas or the greater Himalayas are what we did in the previous class. This middle Himalaya, Himadri is here, the greater Himalayas. Himachal, passing through Himachal Pradesh. Himachal, middle Himalayas. And finally, the last one, the outermost part of the Himalayas being called Shivalik. So, you can see that very clearly here. Now, when we talk about these ranges, they are the bottommost part of the Himalayas. You can see it here. They are the bottommost part of the Himalayas. And they are also the outermost part. So they're called the outer Himalayas. They are also the youngest part of the Himalayan range. They are visible in Jharkhand and Uttarakhand and part of Nepal. In Nepal, they are very, very famously called the Chudia Hill. Chudi, they have these bangle shapes on the Himalayas, so they're called the Chudia Hill. Okay, it's because of the bangle shape in the mountain structure. Therefore, they're called the Chudia Hill in Nepal. Besides these, we have the Trans Himalayas. Now, if you can see that map on your screen, the part drawn on the map in blue, these are your Trans Himalayas. They are located to the north of the Himalayan range. And in this, you have three very, very important ranges. You have Karakoram, you have Ladakh, and you have Taskar. Three very, very important ranges are found in this particular range of the Himalayan mountains. So the Trans Himalayas lie above the main Himalayas, and you can see Karakoram, you can see Ladakh, and you can see Zaskar. The highest peak of the Karakoram range is K2 or Godwin Austen, which is found in Pakistan occupied Kashmir. You can see POK marked there at 8611 meters. Then you can see Ladakh range, which is an extension of the Kailash range. And finally, you have the Zaskar range, where the highest peak is Mount Kamet in Uttarakhand. Right? That's all you need to note here. Karakoram, the highest peak, K2 or Godwin Austen, at 8611 meters, currently located in POK or Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Next range, Ladakh, has an extension in the Kailash range, the same Kailash range as Kailash Mansarovar. And finally, you have the Zaskar range, which has its peak, highest peak as Mount Kamet in Uttarakhand. So that makes it your Trans Himalayas. Now we move to the northeastern Himalayas. So if you were seeing here, over here, you can see in Arunachal Pradesh and the northeastern states, the Himalayas take a turn down. So these northeastern Himalayas are called the northeastern Himalayas. So as these Himalayas move southwards in Arunachal Pradesh and the northeastern states, we have many, many hills there. Some of the most important hills here include Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi, Patkai Bum. Patkai Hill is also called Patkai Bum, B-U-M. Right? So you have Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi, and Patkai Bum. Please tell me if I'm going a bit fast or something. Now, besides Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi, and Patkai Bum, you have the Naga Hills in Nagaland, Manipur Hills in Manipur, and the Mizo Hills in Mizoram. So, in Arunachal Pradesh, we have Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi, and Patkai. In Nagaland, we have the Naga Hills. In Manipur, we have the Manipur Hill. And in Mizoram, we have the Mizo Hill. Right? In Meghalaya, you see the little tiny state here? So in Meghalaya, we have three important hill ranges. One is the Garo Hills, second is the Khasi Hills, and the third is the Jaintia Hills. So Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. Now Jaintia has two spellings. This spelling here is the quite Indian spelling, but sometimes NCRT spells it as Jaintia. Both spellings are accepted. You have Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. And in the Khasi Hills, you have Mawson Ram. The Mawson Ram is the place where you get the world's highest rainfall. So we are lucky to have Mawson Ram in our country, where you see the world's highest rainfall. Next to the three ranges of Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia, so I'll just show you to make it a bit clearer for those of you who are knowing, even seeing it for the first time, that this is Garo, this is Khasi, and this is Jaintia. So I think you are able to see Garo, Khasi, and Jaintia. These were in Meghalaya. And as we move to Assam, now this part is the part of Assam. We have two ranges here, Barail or Barail, and you have Mikir, Barail and Mikir. Mikir. So these are two hills of Assam that we have with us. Now it's important to know these not in terms of just your geography syllabus for the exam, but sometimes you get questions where you are asked concepts of history. And it's then very difficult to eliminate options because, at that time it may not strike you. But in case if your geographical knowledge is strong, you will never go wrong even on your history concepts. Sometimes they may ask you some northeastern place or some place where cultivation began first. Now, it may be very, very difficult to know what comes where unless you know the geographical conditions of the land. Therefore, we are also doing this first so that it stays in our mind. And constantly, every time we are revising all that we have done previously. So let's take a quick quiz of what we already know. The Himalayas are primarily formed due to, in the chat you may write option A, B, C or D. Let me see who's doing it faster. Volcanic eruptions, plate tectonics, erosion or glacial activity. Himalayas are primarily formed due to. It seems everyone is quite lazy to chat today. You have to tell me. Himalayas are formed due to. They are not formed due to pointed mountains, right? What are Himalayas formed due to? There comes some answers. I can see Surya ma'am saying plate tectonics and Zainab ma'am saying glacial activity. But the correct answer is obviously plate tectonics, as we've discussed. Last time too, we saw plates converging, diverging, transform plate boundaries. And today too, we discussed about the geosyncline formed by the Tethys Sea, which forms the Himalayas. So very good to all those of you who got it correct. The answer was B, plate tectonics. Which of the following is the highest peak in the Himalayas? K2, Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi. Which of the following is the highest peak in the Himalayas? K2, Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi. I think we've drilled it into our heads by now. Very, very good. Come on, Kashmira ma'am, catch up. Suraya ma'am, Zainab ma'am, congratulations. Ruby ma'am, catch up. Kumutni ma'am is also here, but I think she's left. All right, so it is B and it is Mount Everest. Very, very good. Now the Himalayas are divided into three parallel ranges. Which of the following is the correct order from north to south? सबसे ऊपर वाली रेंज से लेके सबसे नीचे वाली रेंज में हिमालयाज को ऑर्डर में लगाइए. कौन सा ऑर्डर सही है? Let me check. So Zainab ma'am has come up with an answer. Let us see everybody's answers. Very good. We are quick today. Yes, absolutely. Very, very good. All the answers that have come in the chat point towards the absolute correct answer. Option B, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, and the Shivaliks. Wonderful. Which of the following is a characteristic feature of the Shivalik? High altitude peaks, dense forests, rolling foothills, or glaciers? This is a little application. Which of the following is a characteristic feature of the Shivaliks? So when you go to see, I gave you an example of one of the ranges being called Chudia Hills. Yes, absolutely. And also, very, very good. I can see the answers coming in. And with this also, we remember high altitude peaks we find in the Greater Himalayas. Now, since we find high altitude peaks in the Greater Himalayas, it's obviously not that. Now, this was an application question with a little scope for elimination of options. So, when you do it the way we've learned, and most of us follow, you start putting across. High altitude peak, we know is Mount Everest. So, it's not here. Mount Everest is in the Greater Himalayas. Dense forests, we normally go to Jim Corbett and all in Uttarakhand where you see the dense forests. They are not on the Shivaliks. They are in the Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat and those kind of hills. Glaciers cannot be the correct option because we have spoken about the Gangotri Glacier, the Yamunotri Glacier in the Greater Himalayas. So the only option possible was rolling foothills. And with the rolling foothills, we also know about the Chudia Hills. So if you forgot the Chudis, you forgot the rolls, then you still had an easy way out. But I'm very, very happy that almost 100% answers have been in the chat, which are all correct. So congratulations to each and every one of you who's given the correct answer in the chat. I am indeed very, very proud of you. The Valley of Kashmir lies between which two mountain ranges? The Valley of Kashmir lies between which two mountain ranges? Don't cheat on the answers, huh? Don't see them behind me.
Ma'am, the question is changed.
No, it came back. My hand touched her. Yeah. The Valley of Kashmir lies between which two mountain ranges? So we have an answer coming up there. C, Peer Panjal and Tasker. Very, very good. And I can see some of you coming up with the right answer. Well, we now have to also work on speed with accuracy. So we will have to work on speed. That's the only way in which we will finish our papers in time. Now, which of the following is not a major river originating in the Himalayas? Which of these is not a major river originating in the Himalayas? Very, very good. Congratulations. But I can only see 50% of the people being active in the chat. All 100% active must be there. 50% people are active with the correct answer. Very good. The correct answer was Godavari. What is the significance of the Himalayas for the Indian subcontinent? Are they a source of major rivers? Are they rich in biodiversity? Do they protect us from cold winds? Or is it everything? All of the above. What do you think is the correct answer? So they are just a source of major rivers. Are they not rich in biodiversity? Do they not have flora and fauna? Do the Himalayas not protect us from cold winds? Had the Himalayas not been there, don't you think we would be having snow in Mumbai? The correct answer is all of the above. They protect us from the cold winds. They are rich in biodiversity, as well as they are a very important source of all the major rivers. So the correct answer is D, all of the above. Which of the following is a major pass through the Himalayas? So Khyber, Shipkila, Nathula, or all of the above? Ahaha. And now that I see 50% active participants and 50% inactive participants and 50% answers being incorrect. Khyber Pass, Shipkila Pass, Nathula Pass are all major passes through the Himalayas at different places. So the correct answer is D, all of the above. Question number 9. The Himalayas are considered young fold mountains. What does this mean? They are still actively forming. They are very old mountains. They are made of sedimentary rock, or they are covered with snow all year round. Why do we consider them as young fold mountains? Come on, buck up, catch up, everyone. We're going to run out of time. Very, very good. Congratulations. They are still actively forming. Beautiful. Very, very good. A was the correct answer. Which of the following is a major environmental concern related to the Himalayas? Which of the following is a major environmental concern, Paryavaran, related to the Himalayas? Deforestation, glacial melt, soil erosion, or all of the above? Surya ma'am, congratulations. And the correct answer is D, all of the above. It is not only deforestation or only glacial melt or only soil erosion, just as in the previous question we saw that biodiversity, protection from cold winds, and major source of rivers. Exactly opposite here, deforestation, biodiversity, glacial melt, rivers, and soil erosion, protection from cold winds. So the answer became all of the above. It's the same question, differently asked. Now we move to the next segment, which is peninsular mountain ranges. So I hope you've been enjoying the revision, and I would love the constant feedback and comments in the chat box. I that really helps me upskill and upgrade myself. So you can always keep writing in the chat. Peninsular mountain ranges, as you can see in the map here, there are not only the Himalayas and the southern Himalayas that we see in the northeastern states in our country, but we also have peninsular mountain ranges. By the way, in the chat, you can tell me which is the color used to depict mountain ranges. Which is the color used? Very good, Zainab ma'am. So let us start with some of the most important mountain ranges. Now, the first one that we deal with is the Aravalis. You can see them in red over there, marked in red. They are the world's oldest mountain ranges. And you can see that they are in the states of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, and Delhi. The Aravali range starts at the border of Gujarat and Rajasthan. It passes through entire Rajasthan, it goes into Haryana, and it reaches Delhi. The highest peak in the Aravali range is Guru Shikhar at 1722 meters. And Guru Shikhar is in Rajasthan. Then we have the Vindhya Mountains or Vindhyachal Range as it is called. It is in the central part of India. It separates the Peninsular Plateau and the Central Highlands, with as well as it separates the Ganga and the Narmada region. Above the Vindhya range, you have the river Ganga and its tributaries. Below the Vindhya range, you have river Narmada. And the Vindhya range passes from Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. Right? The highest peak of the Vindhya Mountains or the Vindhya Range or the Vindhyachal Parvat Shrinkla is Goodwill or Sadbhavna Range at 752 meters. The highest peak of the Vindhya mountain range is Goodwill or Sadbhavna at 752 meters. The states of Vindhya range, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, majorly Madhya Pradesh, touching through a little tip of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. And with this, we also have to cover one more landform that we have in India, that is the Thar Desert. In Hindi, they call it Marusthal. So the Thar Desert, which is to the west of the Aravali range. Now, below the Vindhya range, we have the Satpura mountain range, which you can see there, those blue triangles on the map, the Satpura mountain range. They are located to the south of the Vindhya range, Rajpipla in Gujarat, Mahadev in Madhya Pradesh, and Michael in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, as well as Dhupgarh, are very, very important ranges. Rajpipla in Gujarat, Mahadev hills in Madhya Pradesh, Michael Range in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. And you finally have Dhupgarh, though it is not a very important peak to remember. There's no harm in knowing Dhupgarh is a peak at Mahadev Hills. And then we have the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So this part that you see in between, okay, I will just color it and show it to you. This part that you see in between, this entire triangle is your Deccan Plateau. Okay? And the borders of the Deccan Plateau are the Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat, with the Satpura Range marking the northern border. So to the west of the Western Ghat, to the west of the Deccan Plateau, you will find the Western Ghat. To the east of the Deccan Plateau, you will find the Eastern Ghat. To the north of the Deccan Plateau, you will find the Satpura mountain range. In English, it is spelled as Satpura. In Hindi, they use the D alphabet to call it Satpura. They don't call it Satpura, they call it Satpura. Now, the Western Ghats, they go through 6 states: Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and end in Tamil Nadu. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. There is very high rainfall on the Western Ghats. They are home to the evergreen forest, which in Gujarati or in Hindi they call Sada Bahar Van, evergreen. So the forests are called shoal forests. They are very high in biodiversity. The mountain ranges of the Western Ghats that go through Maharashtra are also very, very famously called the Sahyadri mountain range. And the highest peak of the Western Ghat is Anaimudi, Anaimudi. Anaimudi, Anaimudi. And this Anaimudi peak is at a height of 2695 meters. Right? Then we shall proceed. Now we shall proceed further. So when we see this, we are now being able to see the Eastern Ghats. Now, Eastern Ghats are located in the eastern coastal region. Eastern Ghats are located in the eastern coastal region. So they are not on the coast, but they are close to the coast. You will have to excuse me for a minute. I have an important call coming up. Just a moment.